The starship Horizon's Edge sliced through the dark of space like a silver arrow, carrying 200 passengers, crew members, and a cargo of advanced research samples. Among the many aboard were Elena Ward, a calm and highly respected mission commander, and Ravi Das, a junior engineer who worked directly under her. Ravi always admired her leadership, even though she rarely showed emotion. She valued order, discipline, and quick-thinking qualities that kept the ship safe for years. But no level of discipline could stop what happened next. The ship shook with a violent force that felt like a giant hand grabbing it from behind. Alarms blared across the corridors. Red lights washed over every surface. Elena jumped from her seat on the command deck, gripping the rail for balance as the floor trembled. "Report!" she shouted. Ravi's voice crackled over the internal comms. "Commander, we have a critical engine overload. A debris cloud just hit us, sensors didn't detect it in time." Elena cursed under her breath. "Shut down the port engine before it explodes." "I'm trying," Ravi yelled, followed by a burst of static. The ship lurched sideways. Several crew members tumbled from their stations. Elena tightened her grip and scanned the control screens. Every warning indicator glowed bright red. Hull breach in Sector 4, life support instability, fuel leak. The list grew with every second. If they stayed in space, the ship would rip apart. "Prepare for emergency landing," Elena ordered. Her fingers flew over the controls, redirecting all remaining power to the shields and stabilizers. "All hands, brace for impact." Ravi scrambled through the corridor, dodging sparks shooting from damaged panels. He grabbed a safety harness and strapped himself into a crash seat. His heart hammered in his chest. He trusted Elena. She always got them home, but this time felt different. The entire ship groaned like a dying animal. Through a nearby window, he saw a planet below. Green oceans, wide deserts, and thick clouds swirled across its surface. It looked beautiful, but beauty did not equal safety. The ship entered the atmosphere with a deafening roar. Heat flared along the hull. Metal panels tore away. The ship spiraled downward. Ravi closed his eyes and prayed that the stabilizers would hold. They didn't. The Horizon's Edge slammed into the planet's surface with a thunderous crash that echoed through the valley. Dust exploded upward in a massive wave. Trees split in half. Rocks shattered. The ship skidded across the ground for several seconds before it finally came to a stop. Tilted on one side, smoke rising from every crack. Silence followed, a heavy, painful silence broken only by the sound of small fires hissing. Ravi unfastened his harness, his hands shaking. His ears rang, and his ribs felt bruised. But he was alive. He stumbled through the wreckage, climbing over broken panels and scattered equipment. The corridors he once knew looked alien now. Nothing was in the right place. "Commander Ward," he called. No response. Fear tightened his throat. He climbed toward the command deck, where the walls were bent inward. Twisted metal blocked the main door. He pushed, kicked, and pulled until a narrow opening appeared. Smoke stung his eyes. Through the haze, he spotted her. Elena lay beside the shattered navigation console, half conscious. Her uniform was torn but not soaked in blood. A small mercy. "Commander!" Ravi rushed to her side, lifting a piece of wreckage off her legs. She opened one eye, her voice faint. "Ravi, you made it." "You too," he said, helping her sit up. "Can you stand?" She tried to move her right leg and winced. "Nothing broken, just beat up." She pressed her palm to the floor and pushed herself upright. Ravi supported her weight until she steadied. Elena surveyed the ruined command deck. Sparks jumped from loose wires. Screens flickered weakly. She took a deep breath. "Status of the others?" Ravi shook his head. "I checked 3 sections. They were empty. Escape pods are gone. Looks like everyone else launched during the descent." Elena nodded slowly. "That's good. If they launched in time, the pods may have reached orbit or landed safely elsewhere." "But we didn't," Ravi said quietly. "No," she agreed. "We didn't." She walked carefully toward the broken window at the front of the deck. Through it, she saw a wide valley filled with tall grass, scattered boulders, and strange bird-like creatures flying overhead. The sky glowed a soft, greenish gold, unlike anything she had seen on Earth. This planet wasn't on any chart, Elena murmured. We must have been thrown off course before impact. Ravi approached beside her. He felt small in front of the endless landscape. A deserted world, untouched by humans. Beautiful, but terrifying. What now? He asked. Elena straightened her shoulders. Even injured, her leadership clicked into place. First, we secure supplies. Water, food, medical kits. Then we find shelter outside the ship. The hull could collapse. Ravi nodded. I'll check the storage bay. Together they navigated through the wreckage. The more they searched, the clearer it became their survival depended on whatever they could salvage. They found 2 intact ration cases, 3 water packs, a portable heat lamp, a signal beacon with a cracked transmitter, and a toolkit. It wasn't much, but it was something. Commander, look, Ravi said, holding up the beacon. If we fix this, we can send a distress signal. Elena examined it. The range will be short, but it's worth trying. As they stepped outside the broken hull, the air hit them with unexpected warmth. The breeze carried a soft floral scent. The valley stretched far in every direction, with no clear sign of danger. But that didn't comfort either of them. Unknown planets held unknown risks. Elena rested one hand on the ship's outer frame and looked around. We need to choose a safe place before nightfall. Ravi scanned the horizon. There's a rock formation near that hill. It could give us cover. She studied it. Good. We'll make camp there. They worked for over an hour, carrying supplies, clearing a spot between 2 tall stones, and setting up a small shelter made from emergency sheets. The sun, or whatever star gave this green sky its color, began to lower, casting long shadows across the valley. Only when they finally paused did Ravi feel the weight of everything they had lost. A full crew, a starship, a mission, a future. All gone in minutes. Elena sat nearby, checking the damaged beacon. Her brow furrowed with concentration. The silence between them felt strange, heavy with the reality of their situation. Commander, Ravi said softly, do you think help will come? Elena didn't answer right away. She adjusted a wire, tapped the side of the beacon, then finally looked up. I believe in our crew, she said. If they survived, they'll try to find us. And if they don't, then we survive on our own. Humans adapt. We always have. Ravi nodded. Her calm confidence eased his fear, even if only a little. A sudden rustling noise echoed from the grass behind them. Both froze. Elena slowly reached for the emergency flare rod at her side. Ravi held the toolkit like a makeshift weapon. The grass parted. A shadow moved. Then they saw it. A creature stepped into view, tall, slender, covered in shimmering scales that caught the fading light. Its eyes glowed faint blue, intelligent and focused. It tilted its head, studying them with curiosity instead of hostility. Ravi whispered, Commander. We're not alone. Elena lowered her voice. Stay calm. The creature took a step forward, then another. Elena tightened her grip on the flare rod, but something stopped her. The creature wasn't attacking, it wasn't hunting. It seemed more aware, observing, almost as if it recognized them. A chill ran down Ravi's spine. The creature raised one hand, or something like a hand, and pointed toward the distant mountains, then toward the 2 humans. A warning? A message? A guide? Elena exhaled slowly. Whatever it is, she whispered. Our arrival on this planet was not an accident. And as the golden-green sky darkened above them, both of them felt the same truth settle deep inside. Their real challenge hadn't even begun yet. Night fell over the alien valley like a heavy curtain. The green-gold sky darkened to deep teal, and the stars began to sparkle above them. Ravi and Elena sat by the small shelter they had built, trying to eat from the emergency rations. Their stomachs were empty from hours of work, but their minds were even hungry to understand the world around them. The strange creature that had appeared earlier lingered at the edge of the tall grass. Its shimmering scales reflected the dim light of their heat lamp. Every so often, it would tilt its head. Watching them, Ravi shivered, both from the chill in the air and the uncertainty of what the creature wanted. "Do you think it's dangerous?" he asked quietly. Elena shook her head. "Not yet. If it wanted to hurt us, it would have done so already. Observe first, act second. That's always the safest rule." The creature, as if understanding, moved a few steps closer. It didn't speak, not in words, but the air around it seemed to vibrate faintly, like a low hum. Elena frowned, sensing something familiar, something intelligent in its presence. "Look," she whispered, pointing. The creature gestured toward a faint glow, coming from a small cave at the base of the mountains in the distance. Then it paused, slowly lifting its other arm and pointing to them again. Ravi swallowed hard. "Is it asking us to follow it?" Elena considered. "Maybe. Or maybe it wants to warn us. Either way, if we want shelter, it might be wise to listen." They gathered their tools, slinging the backpack with the water packs and rations onto Ravi's shoulders. He glanced at the glowing eyes of the creature. It didn't move aggressively, it simply waited. They stepped carefully through the tall grass, each movement silent, careful. The creature turned and began to move toward the cave, pausing every few steps to ensure the humans were following. Ravi could hardly believe his eyes. It walked gracefully, each movement deliberate, like it knew the terrain perfectly. Hours seemed to pass as they followed the strange guide. The ground grew uneven, filled with jagged rocks, and the faint sounds of unknown creatures echoed from the darkness. Ravi kept close to Elena, trusting her judgment more than anything else. Finally, they reached the cave. Its entrance glowed with an ethereal light, not bright enough to burn, but enough to reveal intricate patterns etched into the stone. Strange symbols ran along the walls, glowing faintly blue. Elena crouched, examining them. "These aren't random markings," she said. "They're deliberate. Messages, maybe instructions, or warnings." The creature stepped inside the cave, pausing to look back at them. Then, in a motion that almost felt like an invitation, it gestured for them to enter. Ravi hesitated. "Should we trust it?" Elena's eyes narrowed. "We have no choice. If we stay out there, we risk exposure, dehydration, or worse. This being maybe our best chance." Inside the cave, the air was warmer, almost comfortable. The walls sparkled with mineral deposits that reflected the light in every direction. Small pools of water collected along the edges, clear and drinkable. Ravi knelt and scooped some into his hands, drinking quickly. "This is amazing," he said. "Fresh water, a safe place. How did it know we needed this?" Elena didn't answer immediately. She was already examining a stone tablet embedded in the wall, covered with symbols similar to those at the entrance. Her fingers traced the glowing lines, as if reading a language she didn't yet understand. The creature made a low hum, and suddenly, images appeared in the air above the tablet, faint, translucent projections, almost like holograms. They showed the planet from above. Rivers winding through valleys, forests covering mountains, and cities, long abandoned, lying in ruins. Ravi gasped. There was life here? People lived on this planet? Elena's jaw tightened. And if this projection is correct, something happened. They're gone. Maybe extinct. Maybe moved. The creature pointed again, this time toward the projections. Then it gestured to the humans, and the images shifted, focusing on a small area of the valley near them. There was movement, something alive. Animals, or maybe machines. It was hard to tell from the flickering light. Elena stood up. "It's showing us resources? Something to help us survive?" The creature tilted its head and hummed again. Then it stepped back, clearly indicating that it would remain outside the cave while they explored the valley. Ravi looked uneasy. "You really trust it?" Elena glanced toward the cave's entrance, where the glowing figure stood like a guardian. "I trust its intelligence. We have no idea what else is out there. But sometimes, trusting the unknown is the only choice. They spent the night in the cave, setting up a small area with the heat lamp and ration packs. The creature stayed outside, visible only by its faintly shimmering scales. The stars in the sky were brilliant, almost too bright compared to Earth's night. Ravi couldn't sleep. His mind raced with questions. How had this planet gone from a thriving world to empty ruins? Why was the creature alone? And most importantly, why had it decided to help them? Morning came slowly. The green-gold sky lightened, revealing more details of the valley. Strange plants with glowing tips swayed in the breeze. Birds, or bird-like creatures, circled high above. Ravi and Elena gathered their gear and prepared to follow the creature further into the valley. "This is a test," Elena said softly. "Nature is not forgiving, and neither is this planet. We must be ready for anything." As they stepped outside, the creature motioned again, this time pointing toward a cluster of ruins in the distance, the remains of what appeared to be a large city. Massive towers leaned on one another as if frozen mid-collapse. Ivy-like plants crawled over broken streets. A river, bright blue and strangely still, cut through the center. Ravi swallowed hard. "Do you think anyone lives there?" Elena shook her head. "We'll find out soon. But something tells me we're not the first humans to set foot here." They began the trek toward the ruins, following the creature's guidance. The terrain was difficult. Jagged rocks and thick vegetation slowed them. But each time Ravi faltered, the creature would pause and turn, ensuring they kept up. It became a silent protector, silently teaching them how to move safely through this alien environment. By midday, they reached the edge of the city. Elena carefully surveyed the area. Broken roads, collapsed buildings, and strange machinery littered the streets. At first glance, it looked abandoned. But the air had a faint hum, almost like electricity. Ravi felt it in his chest. Alive. Something was still active. Suddenly, a shadow moved between two fallen towers. Elena raised a hand, signaling Ravi to stay behind her. They watched as a small, drone-like device floated into view. Its lights blinked, scanning the environment. Ravi whispered, "It's watching us." Elena nodded. "And so are we watching it. But let's be smart. We can't rush in. We need information." The creature behind them made a soft hum, almost like reassurance. It had led them here for a reason. Ravi realized, with a shiver, that they were part of a larger story, a story this planet had held for centuries, maybe millennia. They spent the afternoon exploring cautiously, collecting samples of strange plants, testing the water, and observing the drone from a distance. Each discovery reinforced what Elena had suspected. This planet had been advanced once. Humans, or human-like beings, had built these structures, but something catastrophic had driven them away. As the sun began to set again, casting long shadows over the ruins, Elena turned to Ravi. "We survive today. Tomorrow, we learn. And someday, we understand why this planet is important. Why we were brought here." Ravi looked at the creature, now perched atop a fallen wall, its blue eyes reflecting the fading sunlight. A silent promise seemed to pass between them that survival alone was not enough. Knowledge, adaptation, and courage would be required to thrive. And deep inside, both humans knew that their greatest challenge was still ahead. The planet had secrets, and it was waiting for them to uncover each one. The next morning, the valley was quiet. The green-gold sky glimmered faintly, as if the planet itself was waking from a long slumber. Ravi and Elena rose early, determined to explore more of the ruins. Their alien guide waited at the edge of the cave, shimmering in the soft light, as if encouraging them forward. Elena adjusted her backpack and checked the ration packs. "Today, we move closer to the center of the city," she said. "We need answers. And this planet won't give them easily." Ravi nodded, though anxiety gnawed at him. Every step into the ruins felt like stepping into a puzzle. Broken towers, collapsed streets, and scattered machinery hinted at a civilization far older than Earth's. But there was something else, a subtle hum underfoot, almost like the planet itself was alive. They followed the creature along a winding path, past twisted metal and glowing plants. It moved gracefully, keeping a careful distance, leading them toward what seemed to be the largest building in the city. Unlike the others, this structure remained mostly intact, a towering edifice with smooth walls etched with the same strange symbols they had seen in the cave. This building, it looks like a library, Ravi whispered. Or a research center. Look at all the patterns on the walls. Elena studied the entrance. Or maybe it was a place of power. Whoever built this, they had knowledge worth protecting. She glanced at Ravi. We must be careful. There's no telling what might still be active here. The alien guide stopped at the doorway and looked at them. Its head tilted, glowing faintly as if signaling permission. Elena took a deep breath. Let's move. Inside, the air was cooler, dry but breathable. The walls were lined with tall panels filled with symbols that glimmered faintly in the dim light. The floor was smooth, with faint lines that pulsed as they walked. Each pulse of light seemed to resonate with the planet, vibrating under their feet. Ravi touched one of the panels. Instantly, a holographic projection appeared in front of them. More vivid than anything they had seen before. A map of the planet shimmered in midair, showing cities, rivers, and glowing nodes scattered across the land. Some nodes pulsed red, others green, and a few were dark. What does it mean? Ravi asked, awed. Elena studied the display. Red, danger. Green, active resources. Dark, inactive or destroyed areas. She pointed toward a dark node in the center of the planet. That could be the reason this civilization disappeared. Something catastrophic happened here. A sudden sound made them turn. A low hum echoed from the far end of the room. From the shadows, a smaller drone-like device hovered toward them. Its lights blinked rapidly. Scanning the room, Ravi instinctively reached for a metal pipe to defend himself, but Elena held up a hand. Wait, it's not attacking, she whispered. It's trying to communicate. The drone emitted a series of sounds, almost musical, and then projected a series of images in the air. Cities burning, machines collapsing, and creatures fleeing in panic. Ravi swallowed hard. It's a warning or a history lesson? Elena nodded slowly. It's both. This civilization. They were advanced, yes, but they were vulnerable. Something destroyed their cities, their people, and their knowledge. We need to understand it, or history could repeat itself. The alien guide outside hummed again, louder this time. The vibration seemed to pulse through the building, and the holographic map shifted. A large green node appeared near their location, a massive reservoir of energy. That's where we should go next, Elena said, determination in her voice. If it's still active, it could help us survive. Or at least give us answers. Ravi hesitated. And the dangers? What if it's like the destroyed areas? We could get trapped or hurt. Elena gave him a reassuring look. Every adventure has risks. But humans survive by acting, not by waiting. We adapt, we learn, and we survive. We can do this. Together, they left the building, following the alien guide. The path led them through narrow streets filled with ruins and glowing plants. Strange creatures peeked from the shadows, but none approached them aggressively. It was as if the planet itself was observing, testing their intentions. Hours passed as they navigated the city. Sunlight dimmed under thick alien clouds, and shadows stretched long across broken streets. Ravi's legs ached, and his mind spun with questions. Yet, Elena moved with unwavering purpose, always scanning, always analyzing. Finally, they reached a large open plaza. In the center stood a structure unlike anything they had seen, a monolithic tower covered with glowing lines of energy. The green node from the holographic map pulsed above it. This must be it, Elena whispered. The source of power. And possibly, the key to understanding what happened here. As they approached, the ground beneath them trembled slightly. A low hum rose in intensity. Ravi stumbled, clutching Elena's arm. It's alive. This place is alive. Elena nodded, feeling the vibration through her body. Not alive in the way we know, but it reacts to presence. It senses intention. Be careful. The alien guide moved to the base of the tower, touching the glowing lines. Instantly, the energy pulsed stronger, and the lines on the tower shifted, forming patterns similar to those they had seen in the cave. Ravi looked at Elena, eyes wide. Do you think it's communicating? Elena studied the glowing lines. Slowly, the patterns began to form shapes, recognizable to her. Symbols of protection, survival, and knowledge. It's guiding us, showing us a safe path to access the energy. We're being tested. A sudden sound erupted from the shadows. A mechanical roar, deep and echoing, filled the plaza. From behind a collapsed tower, several drone-like machines emerged, larger and more menacing than the first one. Their lights glowed red. Scanning the area, Ravi froze. They're aggressive. Elena placed a hand on his shoulder. Stay calm. Remember what we learned. Observe. Don't panic. The alien guide moved between them and the drones, its hum intensifying. It extended its limbs, emitting waves of energy that disrupted the red drone's sensors. One by one, the drones paused, confused, and then retreated. Ravi exhaled. That was incredible. It saved us. Elena nodded. It's more than a guide. It's a protector. But we can't rely solely on it. We need to understand this energy ourselves. They moved closer to the tower. The glowing lines responded to Elena's presence, forming a staircase-like path leading up the side. She glanced at Ravi. Stay close. We don't know how this works yet. Step by step, they ascended. The hum grew louder, resonating in their chests, vibrating through the soles of their boots. The higher they went, the more the patterns shifted, almost like the tower was reading their thoughts, measuring their determination. At the top, they reached a platform surrounding a glowing orb, hovering mid-air. The energy was intense, but it felt inviting. Elena extended a hand. The orb pulsed in response, sending waves of knowledge directly into her mind. Images of the planet's past, its technology, its civilizations, and the disaster that had erased it. Ravi watched, awestruck. It's giving you knowledge, all of it, Elena gasped, her eyes wide. This civilization didn't fail because of a natural disaster. They failed because they relied too heavily on technology without understanding it. They ignored the warnings. They were careless. The orb pulsed again, showing the green nodes of energy across the planet, resources still intact, waiting for those who could use them wisely. Elena turned to Ravi. We have a chance to do what they couldn't. To survive and thrive. Ravi nodded, feeling a surge of determination. Then we won't fail. Not us. The alien guide shimmered brightly beside them, as if approving. The message was clear. The planet's secrets were theirs to discover, but only if they proved themselves worthy. As night fell, casting shadows across the ruins, Ravi and Elena set up camp near the tower. The energy orb pulsed softly. A silent guardian and a beacon of hope. Elena looked at the sky. We've survived the crash. We've learned to follow, to trust, to observe. Tomorrow, we begin to master this place. And maybe, just maybe, we'll uncover the full truth of what this planet wants from us. Ravi sat beside her, exhausted but exhilarated. It feels like we're on the edge of something incredible, something humanity has never faced before. Elena smiled faintly. We are. For the first time since the crash, they felt a spark of hope, a belief that humanity, even on a strange, deserted planet, could adapt, survive, and maybe even thrive against impossible odds. And deep within the ruins, The planet hummed back, alive with secrets waiting to be revealed. The morning sun painted the ruins in shades of green and gold. The energy orb pulsed softly atop the tower, its glow casting long shadows across the broken streets below. Ravi and Elena had spent the night planning their next steps. With each passing hour, they realized that survival alone would not be enough. Understanding the planet's secrets and learning to use the energy network was crucial. Elena packed the supplies carefully, double-checking the water packs and ration kits. She attached a small portable scanner to her belt. "We'll need to map the energy network before we try to control it," she said. "If we misuse it, we could destroy ourselves, or worse, the entire ecosystem." Ravi adjusted his backpack nervously. "Do you think we can do it? It seems so advanced. Maybe too advanced for humans." Elena glanced at him, a faint smile playing on her lips. "Ravi, humans are survivors. We've crossed deserts, oceans, and now, this. We adapt. That's our strength." The alien guide waited silently at the tower's base, shimmering faintly. Without a word, it began to move along a path leading into the dense part of the city, the area shown as green nodes on the holographic map. As they followed, Ravi felt a mix of awe and apprehension. Broken buildings rose like the skeletons of giants, and strange plants glowed softly along the streets. Occasional bursts of energy from the planet pulsed underfoot, sending shivers through him. They reached a large plaza where the lines of energy converged. Multiple towers, similar to the one they had ascended, formed a network across the valley. Each tower pulsed with a soft green light, connected by glowing pathways that arched above the streets. Elena activated her scanner, and it hummed in response to the energy. "Look at this," she said. "The network is interconnected. Energy flows through each tower, regulating the ecosystem and the devices around it. If we can access it properly, we could control resources, create shelter, even purify water and food." Ravi's eyes widened. "That's incredible. But also dangerous." Elena nodded. "Exactly. That's why we must proceed carefully." The alien guide moved ahead, pausing at the base of the closest tower. It extended a limb toward a glowing line on the ground. The energy responded instantly, flowing upward along the tower and illuminating patterns that matched those in the cave and the first tower. Elena knelt beside the guide, scanning the energy with her device. "It's teaching us," she whispered. "Not just showing us. It's giving us the sequence to activate and control this tower without causing a meltdown." Ravi watched as Elena carefully followed the patterns, placing her hands on the energy lines. The tower responded to her touch, pulsing faster and projecting holographic symbols above. Each symbol represented a function: water, light, energy, flow, even protective fields. Suddenly, a loud vibration shook the ground. From the far side of the plaza, red drones emerged, larger and more aggressive than the ones they had seen before. Ravi froze. "They're back! And more of them!" Elena grabbed his arm. "Stay calm. Watch their patterns. They react to movement and energy changes." The alien guide moved between them and the drones again, emitting waves of energy that distorted the drone's sensors. Some blinked, malfunctioned, and crashed into the ground. But more kept advancing. Elena's hands moved over the energy lines on the tower. She had to maintain precise control, or the network could destabilize. "Ravi," she said urgently, "help me redirect the energy flow." Ravi nodded, gripping a secondary energy conduit that had been extended from the tower. Following Elena's instructions, he rerouted the pulses toward the drones, temporarily disabling them. Sparks flew as the machines short-circuited. Finally, the drones retreated, and silence returned to the plaza. Both humans exhaled heavily, their hearts pounding. "That was close," Ravi said, his voice shaky. "If we hadn't worked together." Elena placed a hand on his shoulder. "We survived because we adapted. We didn't panic. That's what this planet is testing, our ability to survive and think." They spent the rest of the day exploring the tower's systems. Elena deciphered more of the patterns, learning to channel energy to create small, protective fields and light sources. Ravi monitored the alien guide, realizing it was more than just a helper, it was a teacher, showing them the safe way to manipulate energy without harming themselves or the planet. By late afternoon, they had activated a small section of the network. Water from nearby streams was purified automatically. Plants in the plaza glowed brighter, their energy enhanced. Even the air felt cleaner, more breathable. "This is amazing," Ravi said, watching the transformation. "It's like the planet is healing itself." "With us," Elena nodded. "It's a partnership, but we must remain careful. The energy network is powerful. Misuse it, and it could collapse." As evening approached, the alien guide led them to another part of the city, an area they hadn't explored before. Massive doors, partially collapsed, revealed what looked like a control center. Inside, rows of inactive panels lined the walls. At the center stood a pedestal, similar to the one that had projected the planet's history. Elena examined it closely. This might be the main control hub. If we activate this, we could access the entire network. Ravi swallowed hard. "And if we make a mistake?" Elena's eyes hardened. "We don't make mistakes. We learn. That's what humans do." They began studying the panels. Symbols glowed faintly, waiting for activation. Elena traced the first sequence, and the entire room came alive. Holographic projections filled the space maps, energy flows, and even images of the planet's past inhabitants. Ravi gasped. This civilization. They weren't human, but they were like us. Intelligent, curious, creative. They built this network, and then disappeared. Elena's voice was quiet, almost reverent. And they left it here, waiting for someone worthy to continue their work. That someone might be us. Hours passed as they deciphered the panels. Slowly, they understood more of the energy network, how it connected every tower, every water source, every plant, and even the atmosphere itself. They realized that the red drones were part of a defensive system, designed to protect the network from misuse. Elena looked at Ravi. This planet is alive in a way we've never seen, and it's giving us a choice to survive and thrive, or to fail and be forgotten like those who came before. Ravi nodded, feeling a deep sense of purpose. Then we don't fail. Not us. Not while we can learn and adapt. The alien guide hummed beside them, its light brightening as if acknowledging their understanding. It stepped back, allowing them full control of the hub. Elena placed her hands on the central pedestal, feeling the energy pulse through her body. Images of the planet's past civilizations, their technology, and their mistakes flowed into her mind. She realized the true test was not just survival, it was wisdom. Ravi watched in awe as she worked. We're not just surviving here. We're learning to think like them, to understand their world. Elena nodded, exhaustion and determination in her eyes. And if we succeed, we could make this place a home, a new beginning for humanity. Even on a world far from Earth, as night fell over the ruins, the plaza glowed softly with energy from the towers. Water flowed through the streets, plants thrived, and the air felt alive. Ravi and Elena sat atop the central pedestal, looking out over the transformed city. "This is just the beginning," Elena said. "Tomorrow, we explore the rest of the network. We learn more, and we continue to survive intelligently, carefully, and together." Ravi smiled, feeling a spark of hope he hadn't felt since the crash. "Then let's do it. Let's make sure humanity thrives here, no matter what comes next." The alien guide shimmered beside them, a silent companion and teacher. The planet hummed, alive with energy, secrets, and possibility. And somewhere deep within its network, a new chapter of human ingenuity and courage was beginning. The first light of dawn spilled over the alien ruins, painting the towers and streets in hues of gold and green. The energy network hummed softly beneath Elena and Ravi's feet, a living web connecting the planet's rivers, forests, and structures. After days of exploration, battles, and learning, they had grown confident but cautious. Elena surveyed the plaza from the central pedestal. "Today, we finish what we started," she said. Her voice was steady, calm, but carried an unmistakable determination. "We'll connect all the towers, understand the full network, and see if this planet will truly accept us." Ravi nodded, adjusting his scanner. "And if it doesn't? If something goes wrong?" Elena smiled faintly. "Then we adapt. Humans survive by learning from mistakes. We won't fail." The alien guide shimmered beside them, a silent teacher and protector. Its faint blue glow pulsed in rhythm with the tower's energy. With a soft hum, it gestured toward the northern towers, the final nodes they had not yet accessed. They moved carefully through the city. The streets glowed faintly with energy, lighting their path like guiding lines. The alien guide moved ahead, pausing whenever a potential danger appeared. Twisted plants, faint energy pulses, or dormant defense drones. Ravi kept his eyes wide. "I still can't believe this place exists, and that we're alive to see it." Elena glanced at him. "Believe it, Ravi. We are alive, and we are learning. That's what matters." Idea completed with matter. They reached the first of the northern towers. Its surface shimmered faintly, but the lines of energy were erratic, flickering with instability. Elena placed her hands carefully on the tower's conduit. The energy pulsed wildly. "Be careful," Ravi warned. "It's unstable." Elena nodded. "I can feel it. We need to synchronize it with the rest of the network first." The alien guide hummed and moved along the lines, sending pulses that stabilized the tower slightly. Elena adjusted her hands, tracing the glowing lines in a precise sequence. Slowly, the tower's energy steadied, resonating in harmony with the other nodes. Ravi exhaled in relief. "One down. How many left?" Elena pointed toward the final two towers, their outlines visible against the horizon. "Two more, and the central hub. That will give us full access." As they approached the next tower, a sudden tremor shook the ground. Dust and debris fell from crumbled buildings. From the shadows, a wave of red drones emerged, larger, faster, and more aggressive than before. Ravi froze. "They're coming!" he shouted. Elena took a deep breath. "Stay focused. We've handled them before. Together, we can do it again." The alien guide moved between them and the drones, its light pulsing and creating a protective barrier. Waves of energy disrupted the drone's sensors, causing some to malfunction. But more continued to advance, and it was clear this was the final test. Elena glanced at Ravi. "Help me stabilize the tower. We need its energy to defend ourselves fully." Ravi nodded, gripping the secondary conduit. Together, they followed the precise sequence Elena had learned. Energy pulsed through the tower, extending outward in protective waves that knocked several drones off balance. Sparks flew as a few more crashed into the plaza, but the majority retreated, sensing the combined human-alien energy. Breathing heavily, Ravi laughed in disbelief. "We did it! Again!" Elena nodded. "And we're not done yet. There's one more tower, and then the hub." The last tower rose on a distant hill, its surface fractured and partially dark. As they approached, they saw evidence of the civilization's final moments: collapsed machinery, scorched paths, and frozen energy lines. Ravi shivered. "It's sad they failed here." Elena placed her hand on his shoulder. "Yes, but we're different. We're here to learn, not repeat mistakes. This is our chance to honor their knowledge by surviving and using it wisely." Step by step, they traced the energy lines along the final tower. The alien guide moved in front, shielding them from any hidden dangers. Elena extended her hands, and slowly, the energy responded, flowing in harmony with the rest of the network. The tower pulsed brighter than any before, sending energy rippling across the city. The final step was the central hub. The pedestal that had first shown them the planet's history awaited. Elena stepped forward, Ravi at her side. She placed her hands on the pedestal. The energy surged, enveloping them in a warm glow. Holographic projections filled the plaza maps of the planet. Its rivers, forests, towers, and the red drones that protected it. "This is it," Elena whispered. "Full access," the alien guide hummed loudly, and the energy responded. The red drones powered down, lights blinking once, before shutting off completely. The planet seemed to exhale. The energy lines stabilized, flowing smoothly through every tower, plant, and stream. Ravi stared in awe. "We did it. We made it stable. The network is fully active." Elena nodded, tears of relief glinting in her eyes. "We did more than survive. We earned the planet's trust." For a moment, the plaza was quiet. Then, the energy orb at the top of the central pedestal began to rise, casting its light across the ruins. Plants glowed brighter, water purified itself, and the air felt charged with vitality. The planet was alive, vibrant, renewed, and ready to support life. Elena turned to Ravi. "This is humanity's footprint. Not just survival, but the beginning of thriving here. We can study, explore, and learn from this planet. Build a future." Ravi smiled. "I never imagined we'd get this far. From a crash to this. Incredible." Elena's eyes scanned the horizon. "We still have work to do. The planet is vast. There are resources to explore, more knowledge to uncover, and challenges to face. But we've proven that humans adapt, learn, and survive." The alien guide shimmered beside them, its glow bright and steady. It tilted its head, almost as if acknowledging their achievement. In that moment, Ravi understood. They were no longer just survivors. They were pioneers, humanity's first ambassadors on a new world. Weeks passed. Elena and Ravi mapped the remaining energy nodes, explored hidden ruins, and learned from the planet's subtle signals. They built shelters powered by the energy network, purified water, and even began cultivating the alien plants to understand which could sustain them. The planet, once a mysterious and dangerous place, became their home. One evening, as the twin suns of the alien world set, painting the sky in brilliant shades of teal and gold, Ravi looked at Elena. "Do you think anyone from Earth will find us?" Elena smiled softly. "Perhaps. But even if they don't, we've done more than survive. We've built a foundation, and that foundation could last for generations." Ravi nodded, feeling the weight and the wonder of what they had achieved. A new beginning. For humans. For this planet. For everything. Elena's eyes glimmered with determination and hope. "Yes. And we'll continue learning, exploring, and thriving. That's what humans do. That's why we're remarkable. That's why we endure." The alien guide hummed beside them one last time, its light merging with the energy lines beneath their feet. The planet's network pulsed in harmony, alive, vibrant, and ready for the future. And as night fell, Ravi and Elena stood together, looking out over a city reborn, a planet renewed, and a future waiting to be written, one where humanity, guided by courage, intelligence, and adaptability, would rise stronger than ever. For the first time since the crash, they didn't feel stranded. They felt at home. They had survived. They had learned. They had conquered the unknown, and humanity's story on this alien world had only just begun.